At some point in your life, you experience something unsettling. You've been busy for years, and yet there's little you can point to that feels meaningful. You're sitting at a coffee shop, and someone you haven't seen in a few years asks, "So what have you been up to?" And you freeze, because the honest answer is nothing. Well, not nothing. You've been busy, you've been working, you've been living. When you try to think of something substantial to say, something that represents these past few years of your life, you come up empty. No major promotion, no degree completed, no relationship milestone, no creative project you can point to. The years have passed, and you have nothing to show for them. Maybe you feel this when you're scrolling through social media and everyone seems to be accumulating achievements, finishing books, launching businesses, buying houses. Or maybe you felt it when you were moving house and you realised you can fit your entire existence in a few boxes, and none of it felt significant. Others seem to have lived a life while you're in the same town, living the same day over and over. Where did the time go, you think? I'm not talking about feeling behind exactly. I'm talking about something worse. The creeping suspicion that you've wasted your time, that you spent years of your finite life and have nothing real to show for it. That when you're gone, there'll be no evidence you were ever here, doing anything that mattered. The philosopher Hannah Arendt identified something about this feeling. We might be measuring our lives by the wrong standard entirely. What if having something to show for it is the wrong question? This feeling matters because it's not just dissatisfaction. It goes deeper than that. It's questioning whether your existence has been noteworthy. Our reaction to this unsettling feeling is obvious. We tell ourselves that we just need to accomplish more, build something, create something lasting, leave a mark. So we set goals, write that book, start that business, get that promotion, make something we can point to and say, "I did that." But then something happens. Let's say we accomplish something. We finish the project, we get the promotion, we build the thing. But the feeling doesn't go away. Maybe it quiets for a few weeks, if that. But then we're back to scrolling through our achievements, wondering why they feel hollow. We think maybe we just need bigger achievements, more visible success, something more permanent. So we set more goals, we create new conditions, and only when these are met can we feel happy, fulfilled, and worthy. The assumption underneath all of this is that a meaningful life is measured by what we leave behind. That if we can't point to tangible accomplishments, we've wasted our years, or that we're a loser. But what if this entire framework, this having something to show for it, is the problem? Hannah Arendt was a German Jewish political philosopher who fled Nazi Germany in 1933 and spent much of her life asking, what does it mean to have lived a distinctly human life in a world that constantly tries to reduce us to something else? In her 1958 book, The Human Condition, she made a distinction that cuts right to the heart of our problem. She argued that there are three fundamental types of human activity: labour, work, and action. And modern life has confused which one actually makes life meaningful. We've been taught to measure our lives by the wrong category entirely. That confusion, she thought, is why we feel like we've wasted our time, even when we've been busy every day for years. Arendt's first category of human activity is labour, the things we do to maintain biological life: eating, sleeping, cleaning, maintaining our bodies and spaces. Labour is cyclical. You eat, you get hungry again. You clean things, they get dirty again. The defining feature is that labour leaves nothing permanent behind. The work is consumed as quickly as it's produced. It's necessary, we die without it, but it creates no lasting trace. And here's what Arendt noticed. Much of modern life is labour dressed up as productivity. Your job might feel like labour. You process emails, they accumulate again. You complete tasks, new tasks appear. You're maintaining systems, keeping things running, but creating nothing that outlasts the day. We're exhausted from moving in circles while being told we're moving forward. Think about your typical workday. You respond to requests, more requests arrive. You attend meetings to coordinate ongoing processes. Next week there will be more meetings. You maintain relationships with clients or colleagues. Those relationships need constant maintenance. You're running on a treadmill. Maybe this is why we panic when someone asks us what we've been up to. We look back at years and realise it was all labour. We were working hard, but we built nothing that remains. The obvious solution seems clear. Stop doing labour and build something that lasts instead. But this might be a mistake too. Arendt's second category of human activity is work, the things we do that creates durable objects that outlast us. The craftsman who builds a table, the writer who publishes a book, the architect who designs a building. Work creates things that exist independently in the world after we're gone. This is what we think we want. This is the solution we chase when we feel we've accomplished nothing. We want to create something permanent, build something that proves we were here. Arendt agrees that work creates a human world, a shared reality of objects and achievements that gives life structure and meaning. Work is how we build civilization, the accumulated physical world of things that outlasts individual lifetimes. But she doesn't think work is the highest form of human activity. Work creates lasting objects, but it's fundamentally solitary. The craftsperson alone with their material, fabricating something according to a plan. And how much work is truly remembered or permanent? Even the objects we build eventually crumble, become obsolete, or get forgotten. Arendt believed there's a third type of activity that can foster the sense of a life well lived, but which is also completely invisible. This activity is what she defined as action. What happens when humans come together and do something through speech and deeds? It's not working on objects, it's working with people. It's life in the broadest sense, deliberating together, making decisions, revealing who you are to others, starting something that didn't exist before. Action happens in conversation, in teaching, in friendship, in organising. It's the coach who changes how his team thinks about themselves, the friend who says the right thing at the right moment, the teacher who shifts how a student sees the world, the parent who helps a child develop their sense of self. But action leaves no material trace. We spend much of our lives engaged in activities that give meaning but leave no evidence. The coach's influence isn't a physical object. The friend's conversation doesn't generate a product. The teacher's impact can't be hung on a wall. When you ask a question that shifts how everyone thinks, that action happened, it was real, it changed something, but there's nothing physical to prove it occurred. For Arendt, this is what matters most about human life. Not the objects we leave behind, but what we do together with other people that starts something new. And if she's right, then the problem isn't that you have nothing to show for your life. The problem is that the most important things you've done were never going to leave evidence in the first place. You might be thinking, isn't this just a way of rationalising failure? If I can't build anything lasting, should I just convince myself that the conversations I had were what actually mattered all along? But Arendt isn't saying that action is more important because you failed at work. She's saying we've been measuring the wrong thing from the start. The question isn't, which consolation prize do we give ourselves when we can't produce lasting results? The question is, what is the most distinctly human thing we can do? And her answer is that it's not making things, it's acting with other people in ways that reveals who we are and starts something new. Work matters, labour is necessary, but if you're measuring your life only by what you leave behind, you're missing the activity that makes us most human. So maybe the reason we feel we've accomplished nothing isn't because we've failed to build anything. Maybe it's because we've been measuring our lives by work, when the most meaningful parts of our lives have been action. Think about that friend who hit rock bottom. You were just there, answering their 2 a.m. texts, letting them talk through the same problem repeatedly, perhaps giving them a place to stay, showing up even when it was inconvenient. You didn't fix them, you didn't solve their problem, you just created a space where they could figure it out themselves. If Arendt is right that action is the most distinctly human activity, then those months weren't wasted just because there's no certificate or achievement to point to. You engaged with them, and through those conversations, something shifted. The lack of material trace doesn't make it less real, it makes it action rather than work. Or think about family relationships. Maybe you've been a person who keeps showing up to dinners, who asks your grandmother about her life, who tries to bridge gaps between siblings. By Arendt's categories, this is action, creating the shared world where people can reveal themselves. Whether that's meaningful depends whether you think action matters more than the objects we leave behind. Think about the ideas you've engaged with, the conversations that shifted how you think. Maybe years ago someone challenged an assumption you didn't know you had, and it opened up a different way of seeing things. Or maybe you've been a person who asked a question nobody else was asking, and others started thinking differently. None of this is productive in the economic sense, but it's action, creating something new in the world of meaning and understanding. You were part of how ideas moved, how understandings developed, how new possibilities emerged. Or maybe you spent hours talking with a younger colleague or family member, just being present as they figured out who they wanted to be. Nothing you can display, but if Arendt is right, you participated in another person's life. You were there as they decided who to be. Modern life feels empty because we've turned almost everything into labour and work. We've made even our relationships productive, networking instead of friendship, personal branding instead of authentic self-expression, measurable outcomes instead of genuine presence. Social media makes this worse. It only shows work, the finished product, the accomplishment, the thing you can photograph. It can't show authentic action, or the action in your life, the conversations that changed minds, the presence that made someone feel less alone, the questions that opened new possibilities. These are invisible to the metrics we use to measure success. So we feel like we've accomplished nothing because we're looking at Instagram feeds and LinkedIn profiles that can't capture action. We're measuring by what we've built when Arendt would say the most distinctly human parts of life leave no trace. This isn't advice to be passive or avoid building things. Arendt isn't saying work doesn't matter. She's saying we've been confused about what makes life meaningful. We've assumed meaning comes from what we leave behind, when it might come from what we do with other people. And this isn't about lowering standards or accepting futility. According to Arendt, some of the most important things you've done, the ways you've changed people, the moments you've created, the new possibilities you've opened through conversations and presence, these can't be measured by conventional standards of success. So you're back at that coffee shop, and someone asks you what you've been up to. Maybe you think about that evening 3 months ago. You were sitting on your friend's couch, and they said something about feeling stuck, and you asked a question. You don't even remember what it was, and their face changed. They saw something they hadn't seen before. You talked for 2 more hours. Nothing got resolved, no decision was made, but something shifted. There's no photo of that evening, no proof it mattered. If your friend were asked to list their accomplishments from the past year, that conversation wouldn't make the list. But if Arendt is right, that's when you were most fully human. That's when you were doing what human beings are actually for, not making objects that outlast you, but creating something new within another person through speech and presence. The world will keep asking what you have to show for yourself, and you'll keep having nothing to say. But maybe that conversation on your friend's couch matters as much as any object you could have made. It's a reminder that there's a different way of measuring what matters in life.